of the Festival of Storytellers Chapter 3. We're still streaming live in our Readers Magnet Facebook page, Readers Magnet YouTube channel, and our Twitter page. Register, join us, and celebrate with us.
Yes. Speaking of our other social media platforms, if you are tuning in or if you're watching us from our YouTube channel and Twitter account and want to maybe join in the festivities through our website, you can register through using your Google account or your Facebook account.
Yes, and our website is mobile ready, so you can always use your phone even while you're on the go. You're driving, you're doing groceries. You can still watch us and touch us. Listen to our authors doing their live sessions, their author of the hour, and interact. Of course, that's one of the most important things, and we're encouraging everyone to leave questions, comments, and buy books, especially in our website as well. We have a bookstore page where they can purchase books of our authors who are joining our festival, the Festival of Storytellers. And
Another feature of in our website is fairgoers can enjoy quizzes as well and win prizes. Very interesting prizes. To join in our quizzes, you can go to the adventure segment or button on our website and scroll down. You can see a lot of different quizzes the author, ranging from authors, book covers. It tackles a lot of topics about literature. So you can join in which author is the actor portraying or author and book covers. You can also match authors and their book titles. Um, it's a general quiz about books and authors, not just about Reader's Magnet authors, but authors in general.
yes, and when you are already in our Readers Magnet or the Festival of Storytellers.com website, we also have a favorite button that's a little heart at the top right. You can click the heart button to mark your favorite booth. So those who have their favorite authors, you can click that, and that's going to be a support for your author who's actually a part of the festival. So please do log in and register.
And most of our authors also have Twitter accounts, so you can also interact with them by how do you call that, like tagging them on
Yes,
your post, mentioning them on your post and post account, commenting about their books and their posts.
Yes, there you go. Register now, everyone watching us live in our social media platform. We have ongoing quizzes, activities, and surprises. So that's actually very fun to join, and I really wish I could be part of that and with exciting prizes, right?
Yes, I think there are a lot of different quizzes that I would enjoy personally, so I wish I could join, but unfortunately, maybe on another day, on another lifetime, I would. But for now, we're here to
Interact with you and keep you and make sure that you will not have any lag time as I can say. But yeah, we wanted to, there's a lot of prizes. I think we have free Kindle Kindle copies, free book copies, so please do enjoy and participate in our games and quizzes that we have in our website. So
if I were you, I would answer all of these quizzes for a chance to get Kindle. It's probably one of the most prized possession a reader could get, since it makes reading more portable, more
convenient,
yes, more convenient,
accessible anytime, wherever you go. So Mia, how was your first author of the hour?
Yes, listening to Linda Daniele being interviewed by Unmurder interview, which is Red. By the way, it was very interesting. Red carried the interview very well. Thank you, Red. It was kind of like seeing Linda in a new light. So it's different when you are the one, I was the one interviewing her, and when I'm just listening to the interviewer. Um, I had a lot of new learnings from her. From the interview, there were a lot of questions that I wasn't able to ask while I was interviewing her, and I was able to ask. So it's sort of like looking at her book at a different angle, which is a great way. Again, the author of the hour is it's the perfect opportunity to look at books at like all of the angles possible and learn more about the authors and their sources of inspiration and really getting deep into like what makes them write, what fuels their passion to write about the certain topic that they're writing about.
I agree, and the how the author and Brad did the interview. They were just doing a conversation. Actually,
It was very,
it was very fun to watch.
very natural.
Exactly, and they had very good line of questions. They had you can really see that they had fun, both of them, and they also interact with the comments.
Yes. Well,
So
actually, there was a comment that caught my attention. Is ask how kids can be closer to their family, which is in our society today is probably one of the problems most parents would
challenging.
experience. Since, again, as we mentioned earlier, kids can be like focused on their online world or on their like friends they form online um, rather than being with their family. So I agree with what Daniele answered. Like reading books can be really a good way to form this sort of connection with the family. Since
Special bond,
right, since like parents can read to their kids and kids can ask questions about the book. So it's a really great way.
Yes, I think that's the best, actually, best way to create bonds between parents and kids, their kids, and grandkids, right? That's
Especially since Linda's book tackles about grandfathers and maybe there can be kids who aren't really close with their grandfathers since they can be like sort of considered as like a further relative than the parents. So it's a great way. It's a great thing that Daniele sort of focused on like forming relationships with friends.
yes, that's actually true. It's something that once you have this bond, no one can take that away. It's gonna be there. It's gonna stick to them when they grow old. And I believe Linda's book it has also illustrations. There's pictures in it. So I showed it during the
How do
interview.
you find these pictures? I mean, I personally already saw it. So how about you? It's your first time looking at the pictures?
Yes, it was my first time looking at the book. And what's inside it, I was actually amazed that there were pictures in it, which made it very, very interesting for me, especially now that, you know, the attention span is smaller, I think shorter, yeah, sorry, shorter. So there's a huge um, chance that kids will definitely be encouraged to read books. The books are colorful, the illustrations are very good. It was drawn perfectly. So it was a very colorful book.
Yes.
It's very attractive.
So what do you think? Would you consider like buying the book maybe?
Yes, definitely. If I had a chance, I would. It's just a very good way, especially with the Christmas season coming up. People are already considering what gifts to give. So books are very good gifts to give out during this Christmas season because it's something that you are giving to them in a way that they'll learn from it and they'll stick the learnings that they get from the book will stick to them and all throughout forever.
Yes, it's not just giving them like a material to read. It's also giving whoever you're giving more knowledge, more maybe even like a chance to develop into something better than how they are
Yes,
currently.
that's gonna help them develop their own personality and maybe encourage them
Yeah.
to write their own book. Who knows?
So, Ryan, I have a question. Like, are you familiar with children's book? Like, do you have a lot of children's book you've read maybe before?
I do have quite a few collections I mentioned earlier. I do have quite a few. I can't remember them all because I already gave them away.
Oh,
Because I told you, get books are very good gifts.
yeah.
Because they'll remember you based on the book that you gave them. Because you know, based on the title. So yeah, I do have, and I don't have really a specific favorite, but I would prefer for kids that are in toddlers.
Mhm.
They would get books that have illustrations, colorful illustration, huge letters are perfect
Yeah.
for them because they have very short attention span and they get distracted a lot with the mobile phones,
Yes, of course.
the internet.
As someone who has like a lot of experience, how do you think? What do you think makes Linda's book different? Since we've already like seen her book and learned more about it. So what do you think makes her book different from the ones you previously like previously bought?
Well, that's a very good question because all of the children's books are very colorful. They have good illustration, attractive cover, so very good stories as well. But the good thing about Linda, what she mentioned during the interview with Red earlier, is her book or the stories in her books are based on real life.
Yes.
Based on real lives, and it was inspired by her husband. And with that, it's definitely already attached for me. That's something different. Yes, there are other authors as well who wrote books that are similar to her, but with her, it's very personal to her, very close to her heart, which makes it special.
Yes, it actually tackles something a bit sensitive, if you must say. Like it tackles, as we say, it's since the character is her late husband, so it tackles the death part, it tackles grief. So there's a lot of possible new concepts children can learn from her book, which makes it even greater.
I agree. It's a unique way of giving idea about grief and death to children who actually don't know what it is. They have no idea, literally no idea about death, and especially handling grief, handling those emotions that are new to them.
And yes, that can be like a very sensitive topic, and it's something that maybe like their cute little brains or might not carry or might not firmly yet absorb at an early age. So it's great that a children's book is finally like giving life to it, and it's like giving it or introducing, not just introducing, but like discussing it in a simpler term or a simpler way that they can absorb.
Yes, it is easier for them to grasp the idea of grief and of death, and that it shouldn't be you know dark in a way. They shouldn't be scared of that because that's actually part of the journey, right? It might be too early, but just to at least give them an idea and not to be scared of it.
Yes, they will also maybe like um, since Linda's book, what actually a part of Linda's book tackles that even if someone close to you has already passed away, they will still be with you throughout the entire journey. They will not be with you physically, but they will still like watch over you from heaven. So it's also a great way of telling kids that like whoever the family member that they've lost will still be with them, and it's still important that they remember the memories they have like treasure those.
I agree with you. Yeah, that's actually a good way to present it and to make them understand the idea of grief. And handling grief is not an easy task.
Yeah. So do you think books like this, children's book or even like adult book, fiction, non-fiction, do you think they are a good avenue to discuss these sensitive topics?
Yes, yes. They actually, I mean, children's book are a good avenue to laid out the idea of how to handle grief and how to process it, because that's the scary part, handling it and processing it, because not there's no two person or individual have the same pattern or the same wavelength or the same mindset that can have the same experiences. It varies from person to person. So that's actually a good way to make them process little by little. Of course, you cannot just drop a bomb and then expect them to understand it right away. But yeah, children's books are a very good way to lighten up the mood and the idea of grief for especially for kids and of course adults.
Yeah, adults. It may be hard for children, but it can also be harder for adults. Exactly. Especially now that we understand that much at a much deeper level. So yeah,
Right.
for our next author of the hour, we actually have an upcoming author. Will be Chachu. For our next author of the hour session. He's the author of the book Discovering the Wisdom of Human Nature, and connecting the book to what Linda has discussed to us. Um, it is a part of human nature to grieve, so we don't live forever. It's part of, again, as you mentioned, it's part of our journey. So it's a great, I think there's a great connection here between Linda and Chachu, that they're discussing um, these concepts, though at a different wavelength, since Linda is discussing it for children and Chetshuk is discussing it for us adults. So I think yes, it's a deeper discussion.
I agree. And then he's actually, I think, I'm not sure, but I also had an interview with him. I'm not sure if you know that, but I did an interview with him. It was a very quick 5 minute interview, actually. So, and then, we talk about his book, his inspiration, and he actually showed the book to our viewers at that time. He had it handy. And yeah, as you mentioned earlier, that you saw Linda in a different light because she actually had more time to discuss about her book during her interview with Red because it's an hour.
Yes.
That's a very long time.
I think 5 minutes is too short. Like, did you experience any difficulties trying to like maybe encompass what the book is about in those 5 minutes?
Actually, it was very challenging to capture um, a lot of things because the book talks about a very difficult topic.
Yeah.
It has a modern way of discussing anxieties and irritations in our modern life. So it's very timely. It's very timely, which I wanted to discuss more, but I don't have much time during that interview because that's just 5 minutes. It was like I was just
How did your discussion go in those 5 minutes? What were you able to tackle?
well, there's a lot actually. I was amazed for a 5 minute interview. There's a lot of things that we discussed. Like I mentioned earlier, we discussed about inspiration of the book, the cover. How did he came up with the cover, and what made him decide actually to sit down and write the book. There's quite a few things he gave out, especially on what he wanted to discuss, because there's a lot of interesting topics in the book, and the feeling that I got when we were doing the interview is just um, I was very much aware
Yes.
of his being in tune with the nature, and it was surprising actually because he is an engineer, and it's very
So
too far
he's
from his.
yes, he's an engineer, but he wrote a whole book about, I guess, psychology.
Yes, I can say that it's about psychology. It's about human nature. It's about handling yourself, your own feelings, your how you can deal with your own emotions. Can you imagine someone from an engineering department would write a book.
Yeah, this is what I like about writing. Like, you don't have to be a specific path to write about that. Like, the engineers can write about psychology. Maybe psychologists can write about, um, well, not maybe like engineering, like technical engineering, but maybe they can also write it from their perspective and relate psychology to that department of it.
Yes,
It's very interesting.
it is. It is. And the thing that surprised me is because he based it on his real life um,
Engineering.
yeah, no, I'm actually not injured based on his real life,
With his journey in life.
yes, journey, his experiences, because um, I think he wanted to also help out those people who is experiencing depression, because I think he was also, I think he mentioned that he had a disorder, so that made him, love life, because if you have that, you have to be thankful. You have to be grateful on your life. So yeah, he is having treatments for that, and because of his journey of that stage of his life, he was able to, made sense of how of his life, his experiences. So he decided to write a book and share. Yes,
That's really like coming. He was coming from a vulnerable spot in his life, and he wrote a very enlightening book that will surely help also not just anyone who's experiencing the same thing, but maybe even other people who may not relate to it at a personal level, but will still see or will still learn from it a lot.
yes, he has a different perspective of human condition. His mind works differently from us because of his disorder, but it did not hinder him to stop writing,
Yes.
to share and help other people. So he was a very good man, and I actually had so much fun talking to him. The 5 minutes was too short
Yes, it's
for.
wonderful. I mean, hearing you talk about the discussion of 5 minutes, and I think you learned a lot from it. It's wonderful, and imagine what we could learn now that we're going to listen to him talk in an hour about his journey.
Right, right. So, Chat Truth, author of Rediscovering the Wisdom of Human Nature, going live for Author of the Hour at any time now. So, actually, any minute from now, he'll be having a discussion all throughout. So, everyone, please do interact and ask questions. You'll definitely enjoy listening to him. There's a lot to learn from him.
Don't hesitate to leave comments, leave questions about how maybe your feelings, how you think. He can help answer how to cope with anything that you're experiencing now. He can answer.
Yes, he can definitely give you an idea on how to deal with it and process it.
So please stay tuned for Touch You.
Yes, and we'll be back.